It's fall here in New England, and that usually means it's time to make some things that are a little more like comfort food. Usually a business takes me to Germany every year. I have quite a few customers in Germany, and usually end up going through Frankfurt, and I have a favorite restaurant there. It's a neighborhood restaurant that does a fantastic pork schnitzel recipe that's really kind of unique. It's unlike anything I've had anywhere else in Germany, and I'm determined to recreate it at home, a little bit more healthy than what they do. They typically will have a large pork cutlet that they've hammered out and hammered flat, and deep fry it and serve it with some deep fried potatoes, and then they put it through the broiler with a little fresh tomato and fresh cheese on top. So I'm going to do a little healthier version of that today. So what I have here are some pork cutlets. I got these at Whole Foods. These are pork loin cutlets, so they're a little smaller. I'm going to, this is about 3/4 of a pound. I'm going to have about 3 pieces per person. And first thing we want to do is get these breaded. So I have some egg that I've scrambled here, and dip it in some breadcrumbs. And then we're going to take this over to the fry pan and get it nice and brown. Now we're going to come over to my fry pan here. I have a nonstick pan that I have preheated to medium high. And I'm going to start by putting some Casas de Waldo. This is the manzanilla. Extra virgin olive oil from Spain, and I'm going to put about 2-3 tablespoons. Just want to coat the bottom and give us something to brown the cutlets in. So let that heat just a minute. You can tell the way that the oil is moving around there that it's good and hot. And I'm going to take my freshly breaded cutlets and get them right in there. After about 3 or 4 minutes, you can flip these over. They'll be nice and brown on the bottom. The reason I'm using a non-stick pan is that it allows me to use a little bit less oil in it than you would normally have to if I was using a metal pan. Give it some nice golden brown. So now the pork cutlets have been browned on both sides, I'm going to remove them from this pan and move them over to a oven-proof dish. If you wanted to, you also could do this in a metal oven-proof pan and just go ahead and continue on with the same fry pan. But since I'm using non-stick, that really can't go in the oven. We're going to do this. Now to finish the dish, I've grated some nice cave-aged Gruyere. This is made by Emmi. This is a Kaltbach Cave Gruyere. It's a good nutty Swiss cheese. And we're going to take a nice tomato and fresh tomato and slice it. Fortunately, I'm still able to get good heirloom tomatoes. And I'm going to top each of the cutlets, which I've put in my oven-proof dish here, with some of the fresh tomato. And then I'm going to top it with the Gruyere cheese, a nice thick layer on top. So now that I've topped my cutlets with tomato and cheese, I'm going to take them and put it into the oven, under the broiler. And I've set my rack good and high. Okay, now that my cutlets have been in the broiler for about 8 minutes, I'm going to pull it out. And you may have also noticed that in the oven here, I've also have some freshly roasted potatoes. I did these while I was preparing the pork. I usually do Idaho potatoes and toss them in a little olive oil, some salt and pepper, and put them in a 400-degree oven for about 40 minutes, 45 minutes till they get brown. And to finish the dish, I'll take some of these potatoes Arrange them on the side of the dish. And then take my grouping of pork, ready to go. I serve this usually with a side salad, and I like to have a nice rosé with this. This is a Gruyere Côte de Rhône Rosé of 2019. If you're not someone who chooses wine very often, I can tell you that Gruyere is usually someone you can count on, good wine. And stands up nicely to the cheese and tomato, and you have yourself a beautiful dinner. Enjoy.